Hello friends, so welcome to this lecture on Azure Service Endpoint Policies. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the Azure Service Endpoints, wherein we discussed that when we use the service endpoints, the traffic or the data which flows between the Azure resources is not exposed over the internet, it is transferred using the Azure backbone. But even then, there is a problem with that, which we can solve with the help of service endpoint policies or with the use of service endpoint policies. So what exactly is the issue? So let's suppose the in the diagram on the left we have this VNet. So in this VNet you have one subnet, and within that you have one virtual machine wherein you have installed some application. So if you are using the storage endpoint, so in that case whichever the application you will be installing on that particular machine, and that application, when we'll be using this service endpoint, even though the data will transfer using the Azure backbone and there is no exposure to the internet, the other problem is that when you use the service endpoint, what will happen is the application which will be installed or which is installed on that particular VM will be having access to all the storage accounts. Let's say if there are 10 storage account, then it will have by default access to all the storage account, which is not a security best practice even though the data is transferred using Azure backbone. In order to solve that purpose, what we can do is we can create a service endpoint policy, and then that policy can be attached to the created service endpoint, and in that case we can define that access to which particular resource is required. I mean, in this case, which container or storage account really the access needs to be provided. So in that case, we can refrain the application from accessing the other 9 storage accounts which are there, and access will be provided on a least privilege basis only. So that is we can achieve with the help of service endpoint policies. So what is service endpoint policies is a feature that restricts the Azure services that can be accessed through service endpoint, and it provides enhanced VNet security for Azure services, prevents unauthorized access to storage account or your SQL or Key Vault, whichever the service you want to access or the service endpoint you are using. Then restrict virtual network access to specific Azure service endpoint only. And by using this endpoint policy, we are providing granular control over to the Azure resources. Like we have discussed, for this particular application, only this one account A, which is one of the storage account, will be accessible. If there are any other storage account, will not be listing that in the policy definition. So this is how we can control access using the Azure Service Endpoint policies. So this is it, friends, in this lecture. Hope now you have clarity over the service endpoint and the service endpoint policies. So thank you for watching this lecture. Meet you in the next lecture. Thank you.